What's up, everybody? Come on in. Gather around the campfire. It's nice and toasty here in the Sode Shack. Actually, we don't have the heater on at all, so it's nice, though, tonight. It's like fall weather. This is the perfect weather for the shed. Feels pretty nice. Yeah. We're going to get started here in just a bit, so come on in. Gather around. Let's have some fun.
Josh is wearing a hoodie. He's got a Starbucks.
That's right.
Basic.
That's right. Hot chocolate, my favorite.
Got my Uggs on.
Yeah. My basic stuff. So we'll be starting here in just a minute. So come on in, bring your questions, and let's have some fun.
Left fall.
Yeah, I want to check that to make sure the volume's all right. Make sure we're not blaring.
Hey, check. Mic check.
Addy, how we sound, baby? We sounding all right?
My headphones.
We sounding all right there, Addy? Good. We're doing a little sound check for you folks at home.
Oh, you.
Any comments? Like, that's not connecting for me.
Not connecting. Addy, get you a new phone, baby.
It's probably because it's too full with fans to allow you to get in there. So I think we have reached capacity, everybody. You guys are the best.
Yeah. Just slowing down the bandwidth.
I think we've taken down Periscope, YouTube, the whole thing, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn.
Dude, we just break the internet, dude.
Hey, you, sir, win the internet.
FTW, dude.
The best, and Big Cat hit on this huge on Pardon My Take, and a few other guys I listened to did. The best thing about horrible stuff like Dak breaking his leg is people being like, hey, Eagles fan here. Just wanted to say, I also hate that Dak's leg is broken, and I hope he's okay. And it's like, thank you for qualifying, having like any type of moral decency to see somebody like Dak.
Just because we're different doesn't mean I don't respect you.
Hey, Giants fan checking in. I may hate you guys.
I'm also not a fan of broken legs.
Listen, I hate your guts 99% of the time. But that 1% when a player of yours breaks his leg or something.
When their bones showing through the sock, that's where I draw a line.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Really good stuff. This is what you get. You know, if you log, people aren't going to get this on the podcast. So
yeah,
tune in. This is just premium content. We're going to. People aren't going to get this on the podcast.
This is premium tint. Jesus, what's going on?
I'm checking our sound.
We sound good. We sound great.
Are we going viral? Is that what that video was?
Yep. It's Inception. It's video Inception.
Let's go.
Scaring me there for a little bit.
Did you get scared?
I'm afraid. It is
Couldn't think
spooky
about
season.
what I was.
It is spooky season.
Do we have a lightning or like a thunder?
No, we
it
do
would
not.
be a thunder sound.
Josh,
not
get a
lightning.
thunder drop and put it on the board.
No, for real. When it's closer to the spooky day, I'd say let's get some
Yes,
witch
we gotta
sounds.
get some
witch.
spooky.
Is that a witch sound to you?
Do we have the Michael Myers? Dun, 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 dun.
No, Connor. We have the same drops on the board that we've had for the past
do very
3
good.
weeks.
Hey, everybody in the comments, I want you all to flame Josh unmercifully for not having anything spooky on the board by what is it, October
13th.
13th.
We're not even halfway through October yet, so I'm not going to take that heat. All right, boys, we ready? Let's do this. We got a good sode for y'all tonight. This is
Man,
gonna be
drop
fun.
that thing.
Here we go.
It's the big three, it's the dream team. Adam, Bobby, Josh, you got the news feed. It's the big three, it's the dream team. Big three, IDP, let's go.
What's up, you diehards, you degenerates, you lovers of defensive football? This is Josh Raymer, and we are back with another episode of the Big Three IDP podcast. And joining me in spooky season in the Sode Shack, to my right, Adam Markham. To my left, Connor Rayner. Connor Rayner? Connor Rayner, how you doing tonight, Connor?
Long lost brother, how you been? Doing well.
Rayner.
It's funny. Do you all have any kind of like pseudonym you use when you're filling out these forms online for whatever, and you don't want to put in your real information?
Yeah, usually like a bend over.
Yeah, exactly.
Dandruff.
Mine is just Kyle Rayner, so I think that's why that slipped out.
I don't have that. I don't really ever do that.
You need a spam email.
Yeah.
That's just for spam. And then you need an alias.
I'm one of those classic idiots they love. I freely give them my info.
Yeah, you're like, here it is. Here's my social.
Mom's maiden name.
Mom's maiden name. Why do they want that? Just because.
Seymour Butt 69420 at gmail.com.
That is our birthday on Twitter, is April 20th, 1969.
Dude.
In case you're wondering.
Dude.
It's perfect.
It's really good.
It's good. Speaking of good, we got a good show for y'all tonight. This is going to be a fun one. We are doing, we're 5 weeks in. Titans Bills just wrapped up on Tuesday Night Football. I think only the second time that's happened in like modern NFL history. The other one was when Philly had a blizzard.
Right.
And it got rescheduled because of that. So
what you boys think of that? Did you enjoy having the Tuesday
absolutely.
game? It was great.
Tuesday was fantastic. I would love if
great.
they took one like Thursday afternoon or Thursday, like a Sunday afternoon game, like a 3:00 game. Give it to us Tuesday night.
Absolutely.
I'm
That's
fine with it.
fantastic.
More, I think eventually in the future, you will see a schedule that has football on every single night of the week. Just
I'd like
about.
a Saturday game.
I
That'd be
love a
great.
Saturday
Yeah.
game. That'd be awesome.
The 6 o'clock was great.
It was
too.
great.
It was perfect.
Also
Wraps
got
up
me
early.
thinking, like, it's got to be money living on the West Coast for football and
Oh.
sports in general. Just
100%.
having games over by like 8 or 9.
Yes. The only time you get banged, it is a little early on Sundays.
Sure.
It starts at like 10 a.m.
Hey, that's
That's
money.
sick.
That's money.
So
Especially
it's-
now that we're dads. Like I'm up at.
I was gonna say,
6:30.
if you can
Dad
roll out of
life.
bed, if you
Gone.
can roll out of bed,
You know about it.
then
Yes,
we're
I
up
do.
early.
Yes.
Just waiting. That's the longest. That's the longest 6 hours.
it's too much time to tinker with your lineup.
Sure.
You're just like, I don't need this time. I want to
Sure.
roll out of bed and just go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is true. And Tuesday Night Football was great. We enjoyed it. Titans whooping that Buffalo ass tonight. That was kind of surprising development.
Tighten up.
All the COVID going around in Nashville, and they just come out looking like they haven't skipped a beat.
I know. Yeah, good to see AJ Brown back.
Oh, so good to have AJ back.
Had a great game. Tight ones, man. They're for real.
They're good.
Connor, you scared?
That's the first thing I said to Adam when he pulled up. I said, "Man, it sucks that the Titans are good."
Because the Texans are terrible, the Jags are terrible, but so is Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
We should not gloss over the fact that Rivers is officially, it's spooky season. Graveyards, cemeteries are kind of a big. We just need to go ahead and put Phillip Rivers in the football cemetery. My boy P. Rivers, great career, potentially Hall of Fame career. Dude is done. He is cooked like a Thanksgiving turkey.
You boys are 3-2 though.
Yeah, because we played some of the worst teams in the NFL the first few weeks, and we lost to the Jags.
Hit the Phillip Rivers button, please.
You mean the Andrew Luck? Oh, you mean that button?
Yeah, that one. That's the one.
So Connor, you're out now.
It happened so quickly, but it was like seeing him play and the Browns are good, so I
are
don't want to
good.
take
They're a
away
good
from
team.
them.
That's true.
And that I don't know if we're just going to jump straight into roasting Philly Riv, but he has played. You got to give him credit, man. He's besides the Jacksonville game, he's played well in the other games, serviceable at least, like nothing crazy, but better than what we had last year with Brissett. But against a team that will be probably a playoff team, possibly a wild card team in the Browns, I think in the AFC, he looked horrible.
He
man.
gave that game away. I mean, he gave them 8 points.
Reich didn't help.
Safety plus a pick six. 8 points.
Bad field position, fielding the punt inside the 5, and then bad play call of him doing a 7-step drop in the end zone.
He just has no arm strength, man. I
Yeah.
was saying that all offseason. This guy's arm is shot. Now, if he can manage the game, but see, the problem is, I heard this said very well, he still thinks he's 24-year-old Phillip Rivers.
Oh yeah.
The mindset hasn't changed. At least when Manning's
Gunslinger.
arm went, he was, dinking and dunking and being smart. And you would think Rivers would be at that stage, kind of like Drew Brees. Brees' arm is shot too.
Yeah.
Highlighted by the fact you had Justin Herbert whipping lightning bolts around out there. And Breeze is throwing duck farts about 6 yards down the field, looking like our buddy Lauren in the backyard before the XFFL auction when his arm went out.
Do you holler at Matt Ryan?
I mean,
I saw that theory thrown around earlier being like the Colts have so much money, they have so much talent, and you got a lot of chips you could give away with Jacoby or Phil if someone wanted Phil, or keep Phil and keep him on the bench and trade Jacoby and give some capital with it.
here's the move that I like, because Matt Ryan would be an upgrade over Phil Rivers. Go get Darnold.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are in full fire sale mode right now. I think Gase is doing whatever he can to get fired. We'll get into the big news item here out of New York in just a second. Go get Darnold. That's the piece that I want to build around. This is going to be the worst team in the league. They're going to go draft a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields and just do a reset with a new coach, possibly a new GM, and a new quarterback. Go get a young guy. I like Darnold. I think he's talented. He's just stuck in the worst situation, possibly in NFL history, for a highly touted rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be the move. Who do you guys have this week?
So we have the Bengals.
So Rivers going to get the start, right? Have they come out and said he's...
Yes.
So the coach is behind him.
Yep.
Did he say anything like to the...
He said he is our starter. So, I mean,
And
unequivocally,
I
don't think he's going to bench
He
him.
said he's playing good football. He's the least of my worries. So I think at best, with Phillip Rivers behind center, I think at best our ceiling is maybe like second round exit from the playoffs. We have a good defense, but that offense just cannot score. There's a reason Rodrigo Blankenship is the leading scorer in the NFL right now, and it's because the Colts can't score touchdowns.
Why is he being so weird with his usage, though? Why are we not seeing more Mo Alley Cox? Why are we not seeing more Naheem Hines?
That's a great question.
Why the hell is Jordan Wilkins? I get there's like a sector of Twitter that likes him, but he's
he runs hard. He typically has good runs, but I agree. I think it should be Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
Let's get him going, and let's lean on him and Naheem Hines in the passing game.
great week one, and then all of a sudden
Just gone. It's been not good coaching. I've been
Frank
very
Reich has
disappointed.
pretzeled himself big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
It's
too
not
cute, getting too cute.
Yes, and there's the sunk cost fallacy there too, and we just paid Phillip Rivers $25 million. Frank Reich has familiarity from back in the San Diego days.
Yeah.
So there's some mental biases working against Reich here that are potentially going to doom this team, because if he puts up a couple more stinkers like that, we're going to be staring at 3-4. You know, because I mean, I'm not overlooking the Bengals. I know they got whooped by the Ravens, but Burrow's legit.
Burrow's good, man.
Yep.
That offense is legit. AJ Green needs to go ahead and pull who was the guy that we had, Connor? Vontae Davis, and retire at halftime of the next game with that putrid effort he gave out there. Do you realize they're paying him like $1 million a game
That's crazy.
with the franchise tag number?
You saw the clip that was going around.
Yeah.
On the overthrow where it got picked,
And he's
then-
just running parallel. He's like, look at
Right.
me. I'm going to act like I'm going to tackle this guy. Psych. That was pitiful.
Burrow
Yeah.
is good, but dude, you know what other rookie is good? Is Herbert.
Herbert's a stud.
Herbert
He's a
is
stud.
good, dude.
And I was wrong on him. I thought kind
Yeah,
of
I
like
thought
a
he'd suck.
Josh Allen type. Accuracy issues, a lot of tools, but just not going to be able to put it together at the NFL level. And man, he is a stud.
Yes, he's a beast, and it was able to get him like in the second round of a lot of rookie, like super flex drafts. I got him in
That's
quite a
shocking.
in quite a. I mean, everyone was down on him. You're seeing a few people come out and act like they were, they loved him.
Nobody was high on
There
Justin
wasn't a lot
Herbert,
of people that were-
Everyone
that were
calm
big on
down.
him. But yeah, man, he's going to be good for a long time, and he just makes great throws.
He's got such an arm. His athleticism.
Reminds me a little bit of Josh Allen, not as mobile, but
Yes.
he the way he can kind of, just get outside the pocket and just throw balls on the run, and they'd be on the money.
He threw it
Got
just
a
like
laser.
his arm got hit, and it stopped about halfway through his throwing motion, and he still only underthrew the guy about 50 yards down the field, underthrew him by like a yard or two. He didn't even complete his throwing motion. That's how strong this guy's arm is.
It's just wild seeing someone that young come in and be that good. I know they're 0-4, but I mean, man, he's been nothing
Reason
but
to be
impressive.
hopeful.
Yes.
Reason to be hopeful there in Los Angeles. Well, let's get into the news here, fellas. We should mention we got a great episode. If you haven't checked it out yet, go listen to the last week's episode with John Macri from PFF. Doing great numbers. We appreciate everyone listening to that episode. We appreciate John very much. Go follow him if you haven't yet. But tonight's episode, guys, we're looking at the 10 most impressive defensive units through 5 weeks of the 2020 NFL season. So this could be linebackers, defensive line, or the defensive backs. We've got 10 groups we're going to talk about. We're going to hit some waivers. We're going to check it on the rooks as well, Addy.
Hell yeah.
Some of our favorite guys that we discussed this offseason. Let's see how they're doing so far. But we start with the news, boys. And Connie, this broke probably an hour and a half ago. The Jets have released Le'Veon Bell.
He has been making, since the year he held out, he has been making bad business decisions. He is just, there's no telling how many tens of millions of dollars he has cost himself.
Well, 14, because he sat out and refused to play under the franchise tag for $14 million.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and he's killing he's going to get the label of cancer teammate if he hasn't got that already. 'Cause I don't know why he's being released, if it's just like purely acting out and.
No, I think it's Adam Gase. Never wanted him.
Yeah.
He was signed before Gase was hired.
And Gase is going to get fired too.
This
So
is-
I don't know
this is
what
true.
he's doing, getting able to be able to pull any strings. I don't. It's just, I don't know. It seems reckless just to cut him. But I guess you got to do what you got to do. If you got to set an example, if somebody doesn't want to be there and they're causing bad issues in the locker room, then let them go. I think they put out a statement and said no one's bigger than the team, and it's true in every business.
And they'd been shopping him, hadn't been able to get anyone to even send him a late round pick unless they were willing to eat a big chunk of his salary. This came out right after I saw a story this week about Le'Veon Bell liking tweets about his usage not being where it should be. And Adam Gase was like, well, I wish that this wasn't this way with this generation of players speaking out like this, kind of passive aggressively on Twitter. But he said that's how it is. And someone said, Gase is notorious for leaking these little stories to the press, throwing his players under the bus. So old hypocrite Gase strikes again.
Yeah, that's just what's going to happen in a locker room, run by Gase. So this was just, a bad marriage from the start. We knew it was probably not going to work out. And where do we go from here? Who's going to pick him up?
That's the question. Do y'all have any hot takes on this?
I threw out the idea of the Bucks.
Why not?
I know everybody went initially with, he's going to New England, but I don't know. Maybe he does go to New England, but I don't. Hopefully, it seems like Dalvin Cook's not too banged up in Minnesota because they could definitely use a back if Dalvin Cook was too hurt. It doesn't seem like he is from the injury report I saw on him, but I think, if the Bucks need any type of help, if Carolina continues to win and McCaffrey's not healing up like he needs to, I mean, there's some decent landing spots you could send him to just to fill in and fit in, and if he doesn't, let him go.
Yeah. Great comment here from one of our favorites, Kyborg, saying that Adam Gase is a beehole. That's what they call him on the Fantasy Footballers. One of my favorite nicknames, Mr. Beehole. And it's true. I'm sure Le'Veon Bell is happy to be free of the beehole at this point. Addy, where do you think he lands?
I kind of think New England makes a lot of sense. I mean, Belichick has been a longtime fan of Bell. Sigmund Bloom today, he posted some quotes on Belichick about Bell. Oh my God, tremendous player, great hands, catching the ball very quick, makes people miss, strong, breaks tackles, excellent balance, tough, doesn't run out of bounds, fights for extra yardage, great player, as good as anybody.
Wow.
So I mean, and there's a lot of quotes like that about Bell, and I don't know, this just lines up. We see this. It seems like every single year. So I mean, I'm not gonna be surprised, and I think it makes a lot of sense, honestly. I mean, Damon Harris, he showed some flashes, but he's pretty one-dimensional. Whereas Le'Veon Bell can do a lot of things that could kind of, he could be the James White and Damon Harris combined. I just think he'd do well there with Cam. So that's where I'd look.
All right. We had a great comment here from BBAB_FFB said Eagles just to see the Sanders truthers tilt on Twitter. That would be hilarious. We've heard them linked to a lot of guys, Devontae Freeman back in the day, Carlos Hyde. That would be fun. I've got a take that I'm going to echo here. Ross Tucker put this out on Twitter. Lev Bell, as we said, passed on $14 million to sit out a year. He just got paid $6 million by the Jets. What if he just chills for the rest of 2020? What if he just said, I just got $6 million. I'm not going to play, kind of like a Clowney situation. Like somebody will get desperate and come pay me a lot of money, late in the season to come be their running back.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely an option. I mean, he does.
We've seen it before.
He thinks that way. And if he got hurt, that's going to probably mess up his money for next year. So,
exactly.
That could be an option.
Look at AB at what can happen when players think the game won't move on without them.
Isn't that crazy? Both those guys are now out of a job. Man. The NFL moves so fast; it's insane.
Especially at running back, man. Like don't be thinking you're not replaceable. And that's what I said. And if he don't want to play and he thinks he's paid enough, hey man, that's your choice. But if your goal is to keep playing and keep making money, you're messing both of those up. You're not. And your boy Marshawn would tell you, you're not taking care of your mentals
or your chickens. That's right.
At all.
Great advice from Marshawn Lynch.
It is simple enough.
Let's move on and talk about the NBA playoffs just wrapped up. Of course, them along with the NHL did a bubble down in NBA's was down in Orlando at the Disney World facility there with the the same court that they played all the games on. No positive tests over the entire time they had the bubble. Quite an achievement.
Well done, NBA.
Well done, NBA. The NFL that came out this week has been discussing a bubble scenario, but just for the playoffs. Now, everyone that has come out, including Dr. Sills, who is the head doctor for the NFL, has said we're not there yet, because you have to think about this would be around, kind of like the holidays, and a lot of people would be away from their families. A lot of people, way more than the NBA, because these teams are like 4 times as big in terms of the roster size. So he said that would take a huge emotional and mental toll. And so he said, and it's not guaranteed to work. Even though the NBA's did work, it would be harder for the NFL with more players. So they're not there yet. Do you all think a bubble could potentially work in the NFL?
I think so. I mean, we saw it work in the NBA, and I guess it's a little different. NBA, it's like 15 guys on a roster. NFL, it's like 53 plus staff and all that stuff. So, I mean, yeah, you're probably looking at like 75, 80 people, I would
Per
think.
team, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot. I know. I think it probably took a toll on a lot of the NBA players, being there that long.
Sneaking in, was it sneaking in the players dressed in the jerseys?
Yeah.
Or sneaking in the girls
Dressed in the players.
dressed in the players' jerseys? Yeah.
I mean, we know that Bronny, he's probably getting his ass whooped right now by LeBron.
Can you imagine? Which shout out to LeBron. I know you're watching this, LeBron, but
Hey, LeBron.
LeBron, you're the GOAT.
Get your son
You
under
are the
control.
GOAT.
Dude.
Take
You
away
are
your
the
son's
GOAT.
phone.
You are the
Number,
GOAT.
and the Tom. Can we put the Tom? Do you have a Tom Brady meme with LeBron's face?
I did not.
superimposed?
I'm sorry.
Our favorite pastime YouTubers is to ask Josh if he has something, knowing he doesn't have it. So
I'm just going to say yes and then pretend like I'm putting it on the screen and you all can't see it.
before we give LeBron some more love on his NBA win, to answer the bubble question, no, it won't work, and it's not fair to ask the players to do that. The NFL has to realize it can't do what the NBA did, just strictly numbers-wise. They can't do it, and they're just going to have to accommodate. If they have to add an 18th week to help give an extra bye, just buy more time. I know you have an ideal time frame. You want to do all this to be able to keep the Super Bowl and keep playoff dates and all that, and that's fine and dandy. But guess what? Every other industry in the world has had to adapt, and if the NFL has to, it's not going to be with a bubble. The numbers just, they don't work. They don't work like they do in the NBA, so it's just expand on the practice squad, give yourself more time, and just keep playing. Like, you even saw the Titans. Everybody thought they were going to go,
Super rusty. And
code red, because they didn't break any rules, but guys were getting COVID, and they came out tonight and just blew the freaking doors off the Bills.
They still need to be punished. I mean, they're holding these unauthorized practice sessions.
Hey, turns out getting COVID not such a bad thing.
Everyone's like, maybe should we get COVID?
Yeah. Should we have a COVID party? Like a chickenpox
Dude,
party?
should we not triple kiss?
Yeah.
Just constantly.
Just constantly. No, I think the only way that could work is with the 14 playoff teams. There's no way it could work with the entire league. And I think what you'll see happen is they'll add an 18th week. They'll get rid of the Pro Bowl, which needs to happen anyway. They'll compress that. They'll take out that bye week, essentially, where there's no real football. And you'll just go straight from the championship games into the Super Bowl. I think that's because they want to keep the Super Bowl the same. They want to end the season the first Sunday in February. And so to do that, I think they'll add that 18th week, because we have to keep in mind there's only been like 2 or 3 teams that have had, the Titans obviously were the worst. You've had the Pats that have flared up, but it hasn't been like half the league has come down with major cases. So far they're doing really well.
Oh, yeah.
Just one team, that should have some kind of punishment inflicted, whether it's a draft pick or a fine or whatever. But, turned out okay tonight.
How's Cam doing? Cam Newton.
I think he'll play next week since
Good.
they got
I miss watching him,
postponed. Yeah. So that's
That
something we
sucks.
should mention as well. That was supposed to be the double header last night. The Patriots-Broncos game got postponed because of more positive tests. So, but now the only silver lining there is Cam's probably back. I don't think the Pats are upset about this.
You know what else is back is this week having to text your fantasy manager alternates for all this bullshit. That is the worst first world problem fantasy wise. Like, it is the most because I'm already getting in that mode. Like you mentioned, that lag time sucks so much. And then it's like this anxiety thing of being like, make sure to text subs and alternates for all these potential games.
And Adam has to look across 12 leagues and figure out all
it's
this
a nightmare.
stuff.
It's a nightmare. I made so many bad calls and just leagues where I just forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot to set that lineup or check this. It's a bad idea. Don't do that, everyone. And especially in years like this, I can't imagine people that do like 20 plus leagues.
You have to have like a small army of assistants that are helping you at that point.
And you were devoting a ton of time to that.
It's like you hopefully have some big prize money on the line because there's a lot of other things you could be doing with your time.
And that's where I'm going to get. I'm just going to start narrowing down. I'll still obviously check in. I'm never going to like try and set up, people that are out or whatever on bye weeks. Not going to do that.
You're not that kind of person, but you're not going to invest any time doing waivers or trades. You're just going to set a lineup because there is a point of diminishing returns where it's like fantasy's fun. Now this is miserable on the backside of that curve.
Yep.
So yeah. And it's that number's different for everyone. So another guy not having much fun, two guys not having much fun, Atlanta Falcons head coach Dan Quinn and GM Thomas Dimitroff have been fired. Raheem Morris from the Youngry Bucks, remember him? The Bucks head coach back when they were Youngry, has been named the interim head coach. As Bobby pointed out, I thought this was Raheem Mostert got the interim head coach nod there in Atlanta. We knew this was coming. Bill O'Brien released, given his walking papers last week. Now it's Dan Quinn. Not a surprise. The Falcons have been terrible. And you hate it. They finished the season strong last year. He got to keep his job, surprisingly. But that team is in desperate need of some rebooting.
Yes, definitely. I saw where a few of the players came out and said, like, a lot of people didn't understand the situation, or they didn't think that Quinn was as loved as he was, but apparently he was.
Oh yeah, great guy. That's all you've heard in the wake of his departure. Unlike Bill O'Brien,
right?
Who a lot of the stories were like, yeah, Bill O'Brien would openly f-bomb people and tell them to get the f out of the facility when they would be fired. Like kind of a nightmare person.
Fighting. If you fire me and just f-bomb me out
on the way
door,
out the door,
we're fighting. There's. I know you probably have security that's gonna like shoot me and tase me, but like.
You're catching these hands.
Yeah, if you're going to, as a man, if you're going to fight, I read that story and I was just like, who in that building is not absolutely coming across the table at him if he's going to fire you and F-bomb you out the door? So as a Colts fan, I hate that dumbass is out in Houston because he was the best thing that happened to us. So I pray to God they don't get somebody competent because that dude was a moron. Sucks for... And I feel like Dan Quinn broke after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was never the same. That Falcons team, they won a playoff game the next year, but man, that's just...
They're 0-5?
Yeah, 0-5.
That's crazy.
Blown two of the biggest leads, like in comical fashion. Just seems like that may be their destiny now. They may be the big lead blowers,
Yeah, I think so. But, so what do you think they should do there? I think they should trade Julio.
I think they should trade Julio. They should trade Matt Ryan. Just blow the whole thing up. You got Calvin Ridley. You got Deion Jones. You got some decent pieces to kind of build around, but just start over.
Yeah.
Try to go get you a Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. Bottom out. It's okay.
Yeah.
Get rid of those uniforms. Just fire those off into the depths of hell, never to be seen again. We don't need them.
Send them back to the longest yard.
Yeah, give them back to the mean machine.
Yeah. Those are awful, bro.
We want to see the retros.
Go with the retros.
Yes.
The dirty bird.
The black.
How are we still doing this? How do we still have bad uniforms?
I don't know. I don't get
Just
it.
listen to the internet. Literally. Put a poll out there.
Get a Reddit group together and be like, guys, what do you think? Because I promise you will not be led astray if you just ask the fans, does this look like trash?
Yeah.
Maybe get some people who are outside your fandom, who won't be like family and afraid
Atlanta,
to hurt your feelings.
That's like that's one of like the two places in the world that they do like the fashion markets every year. So every piece that every designer buys comes from one of those big market sales they'll have. They'll be like in New York and Atlanta.
New York and Atlanta, that's right.
And that's what you came up with?
Yeah.
It's just shameful.
It's awful. Yeah, so I think Atlanta, I heard your Vikes floated as a potential team that should go trade for Matt Ryan.
Hell no.
Yeah, I don't know why you did.
Why would we ever do that?
Just bottom out. It's okay. You guys are 0-5, right?
We are ready for the tank.
Let's do it.
Arms open.
You need to trade Kirk. I think you could maybe
No
get
one's
like
going to trade for him.
I think you could maybe get a second for him or something if somebody was like when Adam
Maybe.
Adam Gase would go trade for Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins.
sure. Trying to turn the season around.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you don't like that.
You don't like that.
I would like a trade. I'd like a second round pick for Kirk. That'd be great.
That'd be great. I think Adam Gase would give it to you. Some injury stuff this weekend. We had like the highest of highs with Alex Smith coming back after like 596 days or something insane, like almost 2 years since he's played professional football. It was amazing to see him back. He had like 39 yards passing, so not great if that's their plan. Probably just like get him in some meaningless games so he can get the comeback player of the year. But don't put him in as your quarterback, Washington.
Especially against Aaron Donald, bro. He got crunched like
Four
six times.
sacks. 4 sacks by Aaron Donald.
I was terrified watching him.
So scared.
Did you see his wife?
Oh my! She was about to hyperventilate in the crowd.
She's like trying to keep the kids calm, but she's like breathing into the paper bag. Like, oh my God, Aaron Donald, get off my husband.
Yeah,
I mean, and he lit his ass up
First thing.
hard.
Like
First
first
thing.
yeah, it's like whenever they showed the shot of her, like of him coming out, like she was, crying, obviously. But it's like, was she crying because she's scared?
She's absolutely
Yes.
crying because she's scared.
I was scared. I texted y'all in the thread and I was like, dude, I turned it off red zone onto that game. And I was just like, I feel like we're about to see like another just.
We're about to see a Marty from Not Another Teen Movie situation with Aaron Donald busting through this line.
Yeah, it keeps getting worse in the Washington for the R words.
Wouldn't that be the worst, man?
Just like he comes back and it's like, yeah, and then it's like
First play.
just obliterates him, snaps his other leg in half.
It's not funny. But
It's not.
the Marty from Not Another Teen Movie is all I'm picturing,
It's-
and that's like an all-time underrated scene.
And Aaron Donald could do that to
Yes.
another human being if he wanted. Him and Khalil Mack. When Khalil Mack hip tossed Tristan Wirfs like a rag doll, I was like, oh my God, that man is so strong.
Yeah, he reminded everyone who he is.
That's right. And then we had Dak Prescott's ankle injury.
Jeez.
One of the most bizarre things I've seen watching football, because I'm watching the game. Allie's actually watching it with me, weird enough. And when he initially was sitting there kind of grabbing his calf, and Romo's like, well, maybe it's a cramp, and his foot is turned like at a 45-degree angle.
Thought his like shoe was off.
I thought his shoe was off.
Yeah, I did
I
too
thought,
at first,
his
yeah.
shoe just came off, and then they showed the replay, and the leg just ragdolls.
Oh, man.
And it's
enough,
the
man.
grossest injury, the compound fracture dislocation of the right ankle. Of course, compound means the bone sticking out of the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone said on Twitter, thank God we just didn't see blood pouring out of his shoe at that point.
man.
if he
But
wasn't taped, it would have been probably.
It was
he was really
gruesome.
taped.
Yeah. Obviously in shock, not feeling that, your leg basically disconnected from, or your foot disconnected from your leg. You feel awful because he was playing on the franchise tag this year, no long-term security. You hate it for Dak. Great guy, beloved across the NFL. Hopefully Jerry brings him back, does the right thing. They should have paid him anyways. This was
Yeah,
stupid.
I know.
But now it puts him in a tough spot because he's coming off a really gruesome injury that could be, potentially career threatening. I don't care what the doctors say on Twitter.
Right.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's not just 4 to 6 months. It's also like a mental thing you're gonna have to get over.
Exactly.
I broke a bone. I think about it still from time to time.
Yep.
Like I'm sure you still think about that. Your broken leg.
Yep.
That's just something you gotta. I think it really takes some time to get over some of that stuff, and especially in that fashion. My God.
I
Yeah.
think he'll be fine, man. That dude is tough, and
He is.
he is mentally tough. He is a great dude. His teammates love him. It seems like everybody in the league loves him, and I think. Personally, I think we'll be talking about him as like a comeback player of the year next year. He's going to get his contract. He may have to settle and do something short that
I think they'll franchise tag him again.
Yeah, I
if
think
I had to guess.
have a short-term prove it year, and I think he's going to do it. So, hey, Dak, I know you're also watching with LeBron. So,
At the same house.
yeah, y'all are together, hanging out, making sure everybody's good. So,
We
shout out
appreciate
Dak.
you.
We're-
Really cool
we're
of you
thinking
to
of
check on
bro.
Dak.
Thanks for
LeBron.
being a patron of the podcast.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Love you
guys.
guys.
Yeah,
Thank
we do
you.
love you guys.
Take
so
it easy
much.
on Bronny, LeBron.
Yeah. Just
Seriously.
he's a kid.
Just we, dude.
Yeah,
He's just remember he's a kid. But take
maybe
away
past that.
Take away the social media. It's
past that,
poisonous.
dude.
So we talked about the Aaron Donald 4-sack game. Michael Thomas, can he please grow the hell up, Addy? We know he's the most immature player on Twitter. Even today, I thought about you with his tweet. what was it he said? Not a bad guy, but they turn you into one or something like that.
He is such an idiot.
He's so dramatic. He's so immature. Punching Chauncey Gardner, Deuce Johnson in practice. Held out a Monday night's game. Michael Thomas, grow the hell up, man.
Hey, first sign of adversity. What's he do?
Punches someone in the face.
Starts pouting, starts creating rifts in the locker room.
And
Can't
apparently,
guard Mike.
and apparently the deal was not just the punch, but just like his attitude afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
didn't want to get counsel, wasn't, apologetic or anything.
Oh,
like,
that's just, he's shown us who he is.
yep.
Been saying it all along.
Dynasty wide receiver one? Nope.
He's not. He's 27 and a half already.
What's up with all these dudes like AB and now him, like these stud? Is it just because all wide receivers are prima donnas and they just start acting like just crazy, selfish asses?
Yeah.
It is kind of weird that the ones that are the prima donnas are the ones who are at the top of the league at their position. Terrell Owens, Chad Johnson, Antonio Brown, now Mike Thomas, like Michael Thomas. It's kind of strange.
Le'Veon Bell.
It's an alpha position.
I think so.
I'm sure.
Speaking of, Pittsburgh wide receivers, maybe future alphas, Chase Claypool, Mapletron, 4 touchdown game, 3 receiving, 1 rushing.
Speaking of that meme you were talking about with, Brady and the Ford, that got a lot of use this week.
It really did.
The Claypool thing.
Yep.
LeBron.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yes.
Pretty weird.
Yeah, for Brady having dementia and throwing the 4 up.
Going to Florida and having a senior moment.
Yeah, he
not
did.
the first time
He's
that's
at the
happened.
retirement village. Just he let that one slip. So yeah,
The real one was the best one, though. Brady just looking confused.
and supposedly had ripped some people's asses before that on the
Oh,
sideline.
yes. Did
about,
you
like,
not see that
Yeah,
in the
like,
game?
Get your head out of your whatever.
yeah.
And
Oh,
all
he was
this.
He was chewing out his offensive linemen because they were getting him killed.
And then to do that, I'm like, dog, you better have a man to man with everybody in the locker room. Like that was
guys,
on me.
Yeah, I messed up. I
Y'all
effed
can
up.
come
I'm
at me
sorry.
for that.
I'm sorry, guys. So, yeah, that was the news. Let's talk about waiver wire targets real quick, Addy. Just like last time, I want to get your temperature on these guys here just to see if you are interested. Then we're going to get into the rookies, and it's going to be fun. So, waiver wire targets, Chase Claypool. If he's out there,
Hell yes.
Go
Hell
get
yes.
spend a lot of your fab.
Oh, yeah. Deontay Johnson has proven that he can't stay healthy right now. How can you take this guy off the field? Like
You can't.
He's definitely he's passed up James Washington now. He's a beast. Congratulations, Steelers! You now have a little Mike Evans on your squad.
Exactly. They're so good at drafting wide receivers.
It's dumb.
If we did an episode like that, what the teams that are best at certain things, they'd be the best at drafting wide receivers. It's incredible.
I heard some of their busts the other day. They were going back, and it was like Martavis Bryant, and I'm trying to think of who the other one was, and I was like, that is so true. And they're none of them are first rounders.
No.
They're all like at best second to third.
AB
round
was
guys.
like what, third,
Sixth.
the 6th round?
Sixth round.
Oh my gosh!
Fairly
Out of
certain.
Central Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because of the dodgeball connection. Yeah. What about Jason Pierre-Paul? We know JPP, the 8-fingered wonder. Addy, go get him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had a nice week.
Shouldn't be out there.
He shouldn't be. I was debating this with our boys Johnny the Greek and Joey the Tooth. I said, guys, give me some counsel here. Third linebacker spot, JPP or Danny Trevathan. Funny enough, scored the exact same number of points.
Wow, very nice.
So that should have benched Devin White. That was the move. What about Tayshaun Gibson Sr.? Any interest there?
I still want to see a little bit more of it. But yeah, if you're in need, for sure. That's kind of how this stuff's going to be going. There's a lot of these types on this list that, we're at the point in the year where you can kind of plug and play a lot of these guys.
That's right.
We saw it with Dakota Allen last week. Which are we going to get to him?
No, he's not on this list. Dakota Allen, interest?
Sure. Yeah.
Why not?
He's going to work out fine as long as Miles Jack isn't out there.
Yeah. That sucks too. Miles Jack was having such a nice season. Joe Thomas, there in Dallas. I think with LVE out, I think Joe Thomas continues to be a nice little plug and play option there, Eddie.
Oh yeah. He's been really good. Just filling in the LVE role just fine. And producing tackles every week.
LB 25 right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Crazy. Shelby Harris.
Yes. I've had plans on playing him in a few leagues this week, but unfortunately, with the corona and everything, it got pushed back. But yeah, he's been great this year.
What about, and this is one I'm not sure on, Kyler Fackrell.
Potentially.
I want Blake there, and that's about it right now.
Yeah.
I think Kyler had a great game. I think he had a pick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, right. So I mean, he got boosted by the big play. I mean, yeah, definitely wouldn't start this guy. I mean, and yeah, I'm probably not running out to pick him up. But also Marcus Golden, who's there.
One of your favorites,
which he hasn't been being used at all this year. But I noticed his snap count finally went up, and he was able to produce a little bit. So yeah, both those guys are guys you need to have on your radar.
What about Carl Lawson?
Oh yeah, he didn't have the everyone was all pumped up because he was going to get more snaps this week, and he did. He got a lot more snaps. It was great to see finally, but he didn't do much with them. But he still had good pressure numbers and everything. So yeah, Carl Lawson is a great player, and I think that you should probably roll him out.
And you get to say Carl.
And you can say Carl.
So that's nice. What about Deshaun Elliott, the safety there opposite of Chuck Clark in Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean, he's a fine option as well. And safety's always a tough position, so I mean, you can do worse. And he's been pretty productive.
DB 35.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not too shabby. Yeah, I wanted to look it up to see where Carl is right now. So Carl is actually... Okay, so he's D-line 223, because I wanted to look and see that Cincinnati, you have Sam Hubbard at D-line 30.
Sleeper does it weird, though.
This is on another website. I'm not going to mention the name because we don't approve of them.
Oh, yeah.
But Carlos Dunlap, D-line 37.
BobbySylvester.com.
Yes, exactly. Couple more here, Addy. What about Dalvin Tomlinson?
Yeah.
For the Giants.
Yes, especially in defensive tackle required leagues. He's a must-own. Been just awesome. Young guy, just seems to get better and better every year.
LaDainian's son?
Yes, that's him.
Absolutely. Congratulations to him on the lineage.
His large adult son.
Large adult son. You love to see it. A couple more. Ryan Neal.
I mean, so he's filling in for Jamal Adams. So as long as Jamal Adams is out, yes, Ryan Neal has been great.
We're going to talk about the Jets secondary, which has surprisingly been one of the bright spots in defensive circles this year. Crazy that they are in this position, as you're going to hear, without Jamal Adams. Like, we thought, oh my God, this Jets secondary is going to be so bad, and they've been all right.
I know, it's crazy.
So what about Emmanuel Ogbah finally on waivers?
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. You can always use some depth at that position. So yeah. Now here's my ad of the week.
Ooh, okay. Hit me with it.
Tyrell Adams.
Okay.
Houston.
Okay.
Bernard McKinney out for the year.
Is he really? I hadn't heard this.
Yes, a lot of people didn't.
Oh, dang.
But,
what happened?
I don't remember what the injury was. I think it might have. I don't know. I don't want to guess.
I'll look it up while you.
Anyway, he's out for the year. Tyrell stepped right in and got 13 tackles and a forced fumble.
Hey, I like that. I don't see any kind of a shoulder injury. Shoulder injury for McKinney.
So I'm thinking he's out for the year. I think he had surgery and everything.
He is. It is expected to be out for the season. That was a day ago. So get you a nice little, what was the name? Tyrell
Adams.
Tyrell Adams. Go pick you up Tyrell Adams. Connie, let's talk about some rookies. And why don't you walk us through there some of those guys that we want to highlight?
Yeah, so we'll start off here with Patrick Quinn. He had an average snap percentage of a little over 73%. Position ranking, number one linebacker.
Number one linebacker, Addy. You love to see it on the season. One of our favorite babies, a guy that we were so excited for in Baltimore, had obviously the huge blow-up week, so that's inflating his numbers a little bit. But Patrick Quinn has been outstanding this year.
Yeah, he's a baller. I mean, just from the jump, I mean, we see what's going on with Isaiah Simmons. The dude can't even get on the field.
Nope.
Meanwhile, Patrick Quinn is already like
LB1. He's having a Darius Leonard type season.
Can you hit him with his button? We didn't give him that earlier.
Yes.
Yes, Queen. So yes, Patrick Quinn, and still doing this, as we'll see, the next player getting 92% of snaps. Patrick Quinn is doing this on only 73.2% of snaps.
That's impressive. I
Very,
mean,
very nice.
Yeah, he's making use of his time out there and the snaps he's getting. So
we know one thing about Baltimore, Connie. If Pittsburgh can draft wide receivers, Baltimore can draft them some linebackers now.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, they always find their way to have a guy that just, finds a way to put their hat on the ball, make plays, and Patrick Quinn's that guy right now for Baltimore. So hopefully Lamar is okay. I don't know what the deal is. He says he's okay, so I hope that's the case, man, because
he looked a little affected.
Did he?
Yeah.
What did he have? An ankle injury or knee injury?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think he tweaked his knee a little bit. I mean, he's out there giving it a go, so it couldn't have been that serious. But yeah, he didn't look himself.
That's not good. I didn't get to watch much of that game.
He hasn't been putting up the numbers that
he
did
hasn't
last year.
No, he has not. So what about the next guy here, Connie?
Yeah, we had Kenneth Murray, like you mentioned. Average snaps, a little higher there, a little over 92%, and he is the 35th ranked linebacker.
Yeah, another guy we loved coming in, Addy, getting a lot of opportunity, and this is what you love to see. This is why I am confident saying that Kenneth Murray is going to finish inside that top 24 of linebackers.
Oh, wow.
Because you're seeing the playing time. It's there, and just hold out hope. He's 35 right now. The scoring has not been crazy high, but he's sitting at the back of that linebacker 3-pack. And as long as he can stay healthy, I do think the cream is going to rise and he's going to end up in that top 24.
Yeah, I like it. Looking at PFF right now, shout out Macri. Kenneth Murray is graded at a 46.8 overall right now.
Not good.
Patrick Queen, 39.5.
So again, we talked
rookies.
Macri talked about this. Rookies don't grade well,
Right.
but we don't care.
No.
Because these guys are not going to get replaced. No. That's where you have to be careful in Dynasty, Connor, is if these guys are grading poorly. This was something we learned from our buddy John. If guys are grading poorly in Dynasty, you have to be aware that they might lose their jobs. But you don't have to worry with two highly drafted rookies like Queen and Murray that these guys are going to lose their jobs.
Right. I'm sure I guess you play long play with guys like that are like, these are just kind of stash players. Like they'll be there if they get replaced and I can't play them right now.
Exactly.
In a Dynasty league.
That's right. Yeah.
Like most people drafted Queen and Murray thinking, they're nice to have, but they're probably not going to give you much production
a
this
year away, maybe.
But no, they're producing for you this year.
It's the Leonard year, like you mentioned.
Exactly.
They may not have that exact year, but those are big shoes.
And when guys do that, I mean, that's just a good sign of them, being able to produce for 10 plus years.
Exactly. And there's guys that you stash and you hold on to, but draft capital is important here. Both these guys, I believe, taken in the first round.
Right.
And so you have that investment from the team. Now, if this was a dynasty stash of a guy drafted in, say, the 4th or 5th round, and you're seeing these low grades, you're seeing him not perform, that's where you're like, maybe I should, cut bait with this guy. This may not work out. But you have a little bit of insurance here with the high draft capital, with the production, even if the grade isn't there right now.
Yeah, I agree.
So the next guy we're going to talk about, hopefully you weren't banking on him this season, Connie.
Yeah, Isaiah Simmons, sheesh. We're giving Patrick and Kenneth some love there, but average snaps down to 17%, linebacker ranking of 144.
Whew, sheesh. 17% of snaps. Can't get on the field, Addy.
No, I mean...
And when he did, he got burned for a touchdown early in the season.
70 yards, yeah, that 70-yard touchdown he gave up to Mostert in week 1. After that, they were like, nah, we're good on you.
Isaiah, you're going to be good, just not right now.
It is a little concerning, though. You just wonder if he's on a team that doesn't know how to use him, and that's just going to be kind of how it goes for him. I know they are kind of crowded right now at linebacker, so maybe that's all this is. But it's, not the start we wanted.
No, Chandler Jones out for the season. I don't know if that clears up any room for Isaiah Simmons. I don't think so. They play different positions.
Right.
But
he's allegedly positionless, so
you have to pay attention. If he does not get snaps as we go later into the season and more guys get injured, I think you have to start to sound the alarm bells a little bit.
Yeah, you try to give a guy time to pan out, figure out the system. Again, we've hit this every episode. We've got to be mindful of the fact that no preseason, especially for rookie guys, it's really big, and we're seeing it even for veterans on new teams. So yeah, it is time, I think, after a certain amount of time to at least start watching. But I think that curve for those missing those first 4 games, what we'll see moving forward as we get past this first quarter now, should be reflective of what most of these rookies would have looked like with 4 preseason games.
Yep. So a rookie, though, that has come in and made an immediate impact, even with the groin injury, Connor, is who?
It's my man Chase Young. I was kind of surprised there with some of how low his snap percentage is, 59%.
That's because of the injury.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, maybe that's kind of dropped because of his injury, because otherwise I feel like that would be up in the 80, 90 percentile range. But
yeah, I think he's in that 70 to 80 range.
Yeah.
I'll take a look while you guys are talking about it to see where he is in games where he's been healthy.
Yeah, I figured it'd be up there. That may be a little more accurate, not wearing him out too early. But D-line ranking of number 34. So, yeah, I mean, strong start. Of course, not when he's had that injury, of course, he's been dealing with. But, strong start for Chase there with Washington. And I think if he stays healthy, he could still maybe have a chance for that Defensive Rookie of the Year award.
Yeah, so he went 78%, 71%, 20%, and 66%. So, yeah, I think as long as he doesn't miss games the rest of the season, Addy, I feel pretty confident in saying that Chase Young gonna be flirting with that back end DL2 range, I'd say.
Yeah,
with the potential to move up even higher.
Yeah, I think
if he's healthy,
I can see him moving up higher. I think he's gonna by the time the year is all said and done, I'm seeing top 12.
Top 12.
Looking in the globe, that's what it's telling me.
Look at what Patrick Quinn did on 73% as a linebacker. If he's floating around that 70-75% snap range, it's like if you got a guy that's got a motor and he is a freak show, which he is. I mean, he could. That could definitely improve.
Yep. So this next guy here, been a lot of debate between these next two players, but you can't go wrong with either one. Who are we talking about here, Connie?
We're talking about Antoine Winfield Jr., 99% snaps, and position ranking DB number 13.
Let's go ahead and hit that next guy here, and we can talk about them both.
Sure. Jeremy Chin, average snaps set 97%, and a position ranking for him of number 16. So right there, neck and neck.
That's right. Been a lot of chatter back and forth, Addy. We talked about it last episode with John about this debate that was raging between Chin and Winfield. But, man, if you have either one of these guys,
you're fine.
You are loving life.
I think it's kind of swinging a little bit Chin now. Chin's had the back-to-back bigger weeks. Winfield's been a little down. So I think if you ask people today who they like, they'd probably go Chin.
Yeah, Carlton Davis has kind of emerged there in that Tampa Bay secondary.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm on the Chin side.
I think I am too.
I'm a Chin guy.
Yeah.
Love a good, strong chin.
Sure. He's got the least competition.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's a worse defense. He doesn't have, two great linebackers in front of him.
That's right.
Good run stop.
He barely has one.
Right.
In front of him.
What about he plays for the Panthers, right?
Yes.
What about the Panthers?
Panthers are looking good.
And we I think I talked about this on DFSS, sorry. That team, of course they started out slow. New coach, new quarterback.
No games.
New alpha receiver.
Yep.
Defense, they had like what? All their picks.
All 7 picks were defense.
Yeah, all their picks in this last draft were defense. So just tons of rookies on this team. I mean, if there's a team that needed, training camp and preseason, it was the Panthers.
And yet they're 3-2.
And ever since McCaffrey went out,
I know 3-0. Maybe McCaffrey was the problem.
Yeah, trade McCaffrey.
He's a cancer.
Yeah.
He is.
God, people need to calm down.
Hey,
Because there's people out there who actually believe that. That's the scary part.
He did that magazine, GQ. You seen it?
Yep, he did.
Yes, sir.
He
had his wiener out.
Looking hot.
Well,
I had my wiener out. Connor?
Hang on. What?
What magazine was this in? What about the next guy here,
Make
Connor?
sure you cut that.
No, definitely not. Staying in.
All right, talking about Willie Gay Jr. Getting 25% of the snaps.
Great transition. I mean,
Yeah,
let's
say
be
I'm
real.
not going to say that, not to be insensitive, but hey,
It works.
The timing, it's great theater there.
It's his timing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 25% snaps though. Linebacker ranking of 112.
Yeah, this warmed my heart, Addy. I tweeted about this. You have to remember that
Great tweet. Great. I love when Josh tweets.
You have to remember, I don't tweet much. Usually I tweet about like TV shows and occasionally football. But it was nice to see the Willie Gay Jr. takeover. We were a little ahead of schedule, week 1, putting him as one of our green lights. But we saw the potential there. We knew that these Chiefs linebackers were total butt in front of Willie Gay Jr., and I want to read you his defensive snaps week by week so you can kind of see what's going on here. Week 1, big old goose egg.
Oh, yeah.
No defensive snaps.
Remember that one?
Week 2, 7%. Week 3, 16%. Week 4, 33%.
Interesting.
Week 5, 47%.
Huh. So you're telling me like every week?
Every week,
there was
Eddie.
more and more snaps?
More and more snaps. for
Holy
Willie Gay
hell, that's
Jr.
crazy.
You'd love to see it. And I think this is going to continue. This is a guy, if you are in a league with a bunch of dopes, go try to trade for Willie Gay Jr.
He's probably out there.
He may be out there on your waivers. The manager may not be super thrilled, with Willie Gay Jr. Try to go get him. I think this is going to continue to tick upwards.
Yep. And that we mentioned that. We said that, once we saw he was not getting the snaps early on, we're like, well, just be patient. This is a guy that could maybe, win you some leagues at the end of the year. And it's kind of trending that way.
It is. Don't take an all or nothing approach to the season where the things that happen in the first 4 weeks are going to continue the rest of season.
Yep.
Split the season up into chunks and approach each chunk as its own separate entity. There's a couple more folks here, Connor. Who we got next?
Got Jordan Fuller, average snaps 78%, and a position ranking as a DB of 118.
Yeah, this was sad. So Jordan Fuller just went on IR. I don't know if it was season-ending IR or the kind of 3-week short-term IR, but Taylor Rapp season back on. Not a rap addict. Sorry, you don't get to make that joke anymore.
Damn.
But Jordan Fuller was looking good with his, the times that he was out there.
Yeah.
Not the most consistent IDP producer, but he had definitely, I think, taken that role from Rapp, and now the injuries, unfortunately, have taken him out.
Yeah. Hate to see it, but, Rapp, we'll see.
We'll see.
Got redemption.
This is his chance.
Yep.
He comes in and just gets replaced by somebody else, and we're like, what the hell, Taylor Rapp?
Ooh, and I'll be sitting there waiting. That's a wrap.
That's right. He'll have it. I'll just put it on a drop on the board.
We need to do that.
Yeah. Connor, I won't make you say this next player's name.
I love it. This is my favorite.
This is your favorite name? I will not deprive you then.
Yatur Gross-Matos.
Gross-Matos.
Speaking of the Panthers, but average snap percentage, 29%, and D-line ranking, 111.
So this is a guy we did. I told you I'm doing the mock draft with the IDP guys for their ADP for the Dynasty Trade Calculator. Gross-Matos, a guy that I grabbed late in like the 20 plus round because I really like what I'm seeing. He got hurt this last game, so that knocked his stats down a little bit. But really like Gross-Matos there as a stash.
Yeah, same. I mean, he was really productive in his last 2 games. I think he had 5 pressures and a sack in his previous 43 snaps. That's fantastic.
Very nice. And we know this team is trying to figure out right now what does this squad look like moving forward.
Yeah.
And I do love that it seems like Gross-Matos is going to be a part of that.
And it's a really good line, I think. I mean, that's going to be a line that we're talking about in a couple of years. I mean, Brian Burns is really good. Malcolm Brown. Is that his name?
Derek Brown.
I always do
Derek
that.
Brown.
Derek
Next
Brown.
person on the list actually had 60% of snaps, D-line ranking of 55. So it looks like he's getting a little more snaps than Yatur and a little higher ranking. So like you mentioned, Carolina may be a problem on the D-line here soon.
Yeah, I was looking at Gross-Matos' snaps. Not a lot. So it looks like he missed, looks like week 2, but the 4 games he played, 25, 30, 36, 26. So not a lot of snaps. That's percentage.
Yeah.
So not a lot, but
Was trending in the right direction.
Derek Brown, a nice grab for D tackle required leagues, especially.
For sure.
So hold on to him. Who's the last guy here, Connie? We got one more.
Yeah, Kyle Duggar, average snap percentage 35%, DB ranking 204.
Yeah, not seeing a lot from Kyle Duggar so far. We know that Pats defense is just
It's hard to figure out.
it's perplexing, it's bamboozling. But Kyle Duggar is a guy that we like there. 2nd round pick, I think, for the Pats. 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Yeah, they used pretty decent capital on him. Yeah, he's a hold. I think he's someone that we can expect to have in our lineups next year.
Absolutely.
He was the 37th pick out of Lenore Ryan.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was another Pats like, who? Where? A small school guy?
Fun fact about them, he is the highest drafted player in school history.
Is he the only drafted player in school history?
That's what I was going for, but yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny to think about Bill with binoculars in the stands.
That great gif of him looking with the I feel like there's that gif out there, right? Whenever a player gets cut, they have the Bill Belichick binoculars gif.
Do you think that school has the 2 sides? You know how Western for the longest time only had one side?
I think they just have folding chairs around the track. Or you just stand like in high school where everyone would stand around the field.
Yeah, just they bleachers.
Just bleachers.
Silver bleachers.
Yeah, silver metal bleachers, just hot as hell in the middle of August.
Another great Bill meme is the one of him from the draft where his dog got in his chair and
Oh,
they had
yeah.
his nameplate on there. Of
So
Bill
good.
Belichick and his dog is just sitting there looking at the camera.
He's got a great dog.
Yeah, he does have a great dog.
Great
as much
dog.
as I hate him, great dog.
Another great Bill Belichick gif, him walking out of the tunnel, and the people are like holding out their hands, and Bill is just like laser focused.
Children.
Children, yeah. Bill Belichick just walks right past him.
He's a WWE villain.
He is.
I'll respect it. I mean, until he's gone, he's a villain. I'd love to see a him versus Tommy Super Bowl if it's not Indy.
Man, I love Bill.
I don't love him, but I enjoy having him in the league. He's a great
League's better
character
with
to
him.
hate and to respect, but also hate.
I don't hate at all. I don't hate him at all. I love him.
That's
Seriously.
good. We're happy for you.
He's a good dude.
His
He is
dry,
not a good person.
His
Yes, he
dry
is.
his dry BS with the media and that shtick is like it gets so played out so quick when he like won't answer them. It's like the Popovich thing. It's
But
like
also-
we get it, dude. Like you're better than everyone. Like
But I mean, hey, what incentive does he have to share anything with them? Why would you ever share anything with the media? We talk shit about the media all the time.
There
and
is something to
politics
be
and everything
said.
else.
There is something to be said for playing the media game, though. That's how you get jobs. That's how Bill O'Brien got jobs. That's how Jason Garrett has gotten jobs. You play the media game, they can help you get jobs, man.
Well,
But Bill Belichick does not need that, though.
6 rings.
That's
That'll
right.
help to get jobs.
He doesn't need. That's the thing. He doesn't need the media. Some
Yeah.
guys like Garrett and Bill O'Brien that are kind of punching above their weight do need all the help they
that's
can
why
get.
you got to respect it, though. It's
Yeah.
a boss move.
If he was like Joe Judge, first year coach coming in and pulling this crap, you're like, all right, man, chill
right.
out. You haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But Bill Belichick, yeah, he can thumb his nose at the media all he wants,
Yep. Love it.
as long as he doesn't tell them to sit up and have some respect for themselves and their position.
that's still an all-time move by the idiot Lions coach. What's his name?
Matt Patricia,
That's a Bill Belichick disciple.
the rocket scientist with a pencil in his ear.
And it's like, dude, you saw what your former boss showed up wearing the other day with that sweatshirt with the holes all in it. And then you're sitting there spouting off that to the media people. I think we've brought that up on every pod, and it infuriates me.
It is. It's your running infuriation is Matt Patricia. We have to give a shout out here real quick to our boy Dr. Lizas at Big3_injury. Media sucks. We hate the media. Well said.
That's right.
Well
You're
said
with
by
me,
Dr.
aren't you, Lee?
Lizas.
Yes,
You're with
that's
me.
the man, Lee.
So let's talk about it, fellas. The 10 most impressive units on defense thus far in the 2020 season. Addy, let's kick things off there. Number 1, no surprise. If you've been following football this year, this group is looking hella good. Who are we talking about?
Tampa Bay linebackers, baby.
Now, there's going to be we're going to talk about some Pittsburgh units here. Pittsburgh has the best defense, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
But this may be my favorite unit in all of defensive football.
Yeah.
These Tampa Bay linebackers.
I really
are
like them. I like this
so
whole team.
good.
I like
Yep.
the whole team, but yeah, definitely these linebackers stand out. So Devin White, who's linebacker 23 right now with 40 tackles, 2 for loss, 2 pass defense, and a fumble recovery.
He's looked great. He's a thick boy. We love it.
Yep, maybe he doesn't grade out that well on PFF, but he's got Levante David next to him.
That's right.
So
Most underrated superstar of the past decade.
yeah, but
Levante David. You mean linebacker 5 through this season?
that one,
That one?
Discount Bobby Wagner. That's what I was calling him at the beginning of the year.
He's so good.
And it's the truth, man. He always gets slept on. I mean, you could get him like linebacker 15 to 20, and year after year, he just proves that he's one of the best in the league.
Outperforms his ADP every single season. We should
Yep.
not be surprised. 39 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 pass defense, a pick, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Levante David out there doing it all, Addy.
Let's check that grade on Mr. David too.
Please do.
He's always up near the top.
Shaq. Let's talk about these other 2 guys while Addy looks this up. Shaq Barrett. What did he have? Like close to 20 sacks last year out of nowhere. LB 27 on the year so far, Connie.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, Tampa Bay has a potent offense that seems like it's starting to click, and then defensively, man, you've got some studs there at linebacker. JPP having a renaissance for them as well. I feel like
When JPP's your 4th guy,
yeah,
you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Now him and Shaq Barrett are kind of these edge rusher guys, these kind of TJ Watt, Von Miller. So not the traditional sort of the outside linebacker position, but You look at the fact that between them, it looks like Shaq Barrett and JPP have 7 sacks on the season already.
Yeah, they're causing some chaos, man, and that's just what you got to have. I mean, you don't have to have somebody that everybody is a tackling machine. I mean, guys that can get pressure, create opportunities for each other. It seems like that Tampa Bay defense is clicking on all cylinders, and if the offense gets it together, it's clear the timing is not quite there yet, but
It'll get there as long as Tom Brady knows what down it is.
Yeah,
They also don't have receivers right now.
It's true.
No one's
Chris
healthy.
Godwin's out.
Right.
Yeah.
OJ Howard.
OJ Howard's out for the
tore
season.
Achilles.
Yep. So did you find the grade for our baby?
Yes, of course. 88.6.
Jeez, he's so good.
He is graded 91.7 in terms of coverage. Just one of the best. Also, speaking of Shaq Barrett, pressure numbers, he is tied for second in the league with 27 pressures.
Wow, he's so good. Aaron
So
Donald,
good.
number 1?
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett. Okay, yeah, no surprise there.
Actually-
Myles Garrett, VV good. But I have to imagine Aaron Donald is also very high on
They're
that list.
actually tied.
Tied, okay.
He has 33. Myles Garrett has 33.
Wow. Aaron Donald, have yourself a year. We should have known it, Connor, watching the Hard Knocks episodes where Donald was taking his shirt off just looking like he was chiseled out of rock.
They were really singing Myles Garrett's praises the other day during the Colts game. I mean, they were talking about how he was off to like one of the best starts of the entire year, and that the only thing I could keep going back to was him absolutely trying to murder
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph, and I'll just never get that out of my head. But hey, he's having a hell of a year.
If you sold Myles Garrett last season off of the attempted murder on the field, you're feeling like an idiot right now because he's having a very nice season.
Yeah. If you're worried about his attitude.
Or him being
Assault, in the words of Adam Schefter.
being an assaulter. All right, the second unit here, Connie. Who are we looking at? The second most impressive unit, and this is not in order, but just number 2 on the list.
We're not looking at the Philly Bird Gang. We're looking at the Baltimore Bird Gang. We're
The
looking
Ravens.
The Ravens secondary. Starting off a few notes then. Marlon Humphrey, DB2, 28 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 5 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 pick.
He just got the bag.
Yeah.
Marlon Humphrey out here doing work. He had a great game on Sunday against the Bengals, was just everywhere for them.
He's so good.
He's so good, man. They have the best cornerback duo in the league with him and Marcus Peters there. DB21.
I mean, Marlon Humphrey, in terms of fantasy, like if you're lumping safeties and corners together, he's a top 12 option.
He's DB2 right now.
Yeah.
That's
him and
that's
him at
cornerbacks and safeties. This is pulled from the site we shall not mention, but where it lumps them all together.
Yeah.
DB2.
So just look at his game log here. Week 1, 14.5 points. Week 2, 15 points. Week 3, 13.75. Week 4, 17. Week 5, 17.
He's just consistent. That's
His
15
money.
plus every single game.
Out of a corner.
And by the way, the 1, 2, and 3 options right now in fantasy: Mike Hilton, Marlon Humphrey, Pierre Desir, cornerback.
Got to start showing a little more love to those corners.
That we do. That's on us, Addy. That's on us. But also there, Connie, who are the 2 other guys that we have, the safeties in Baltimore?
Right. So we had Chuck Clark, DB7, 37 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles.
Chuck Clark looking great. As we knew, I think we were a little hesitant to put him top 12, but so far so good, Addy.
Yeah, he looks really good, man. He's the mainstay from that team last year, and he's one of the leaders.
Yeah. Who's the other guy there, Connor?
You got with Chuck, you got Deshaun Elliott, DB35. He had 22 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, and 2 pass defended.
Yep, we mentioned him in the waiver wire section. Deshaun Elliott looking very good there. Not often you have 2 safeties from the same team that are viable IDP options, but that's the case here with Baltimore, Eddie. That's what makes them so impressive.
Yeah, I mean,
All of these guys are startable. How often can you say that? You can start every single one of Tampa Bay's linebackers,
yep.
inside and outside linebacker, and you can start every single player from this Baltimore secondary that we mentioned.
Yep,
That's
I love
pretty
that.
awesome.
That's really cool, and they're in those game scripts where teams are going to be throwing on them, testing those corners, testing the safeties. So yeah, they're going to continue to be productive.
That's right. Next up here, we got a unit that we knew coming in might be the best in the league, and so far, they're pretty close. They're living up to that potential. I think there's a couple other teams that you could make the case for but we're talking about the Washington football team's defensive line. You have Chase Young, D lineman 34, Ryan Kerrigan, D line 72, Montez Sweat, the sweet man, D line 12, Deron Payne, D lineman 60, and then Jonathan Allen, D lineman 17. So I think you have 3 guys here with the potential to finish inside the top 24 for the defensive line, Addy.
Yeah, I mean, just loads of goodness here. Chase Young, obviously, a little banged up right now, but I expect that number to increase. Ryan Kerrigan, even though he's kind of been down lately, he's always a really nice.
He's put up 0 points the past 2 weeks when I have started him, so I'm not super happy with Ryan Kerrigan right now.
He'll have a huge week probably this next one.
That's how he does it.
That's just kind of how he operates.
You bench him, and then he's like, I'm going to go score 28 points now.
Montez Sweat's been the nicest.
He's been great.
Surprise here.
He has been great.
We liked him coming into the year, but I mean he's far exceeded my expectations. Jonathan Allen also got off to a slow start, but he's a great option for defensive tackle leagues. But just a really good unit. It's nice when you kind of everyone kind of had this same thought that they're going to be good, but it's proven to be the case.
Let's get Chase Young back healthy. Let's get that wiener area for him looking right, looking tight. And let's roll. Let's roll with the Washington football team defensive line. Connor, up next, team after your own heart, literally.
Yep. This next unit is the boys in blue, Indianapolis linebackers. We got Darius Leonard. We missed him this past week, man. But he's LB 52, 27 tackles, 2 tackle for loss, 2 passes defended. Darius has been quiet this year.
He has.
To his standard. And you could say the same thing about Big Q at line. It's just when you're an all-pro, you're held to a different standard.
That's right.
Wrong, or indifferent, that's the standard you've set for yourself. He's not played like an all-pro, but guess what? There's plenty of season left. He's literally just finishing the first quarter of the season. Banged up right now with the groin injury. I think he's somebody that will be back. While he's gone, talk about a guy that has consistently played so well for Indy and their linebacking core is Anthony Walker. Linebacker 29, 32 tackles, 1 interception. He's a freak show. And just to get this next guy out of the way, Bobby Okereke.
All right, media folks, it's Bobby Okereke.
Yeah.
I've heard Orekariki, Orekareke.
Bobby Okereke.
Okereke.
Yeah,
redneck from Kentucky. Bobby Okereke.
What was that, Eddie?
Okereke?
Okereke. It's not that hard, but I hear that name butchered time and time. I think Booger McFarland called him Bobby Okereke. I was like, Booger, are you having a stroke? Are you okay?
Yeah, where was it? I heard it recently too, and I was like, I don't know if that's right. But you're right. I mean, it's one of those names. It's tough.
Yeah, they're like, well, it's the monkey from Lion King, Bobby Rafiki. Like, come on, guys, do a little research. Watch him pronounce his own name. It's not hard.
Watch Pat McAfee do his draft intro, and you'll never forget how to say his name.
That's right. It's not hard. But yes, Anthony Walker's kind of like KJ Wright. We don't want to give him the respect that he deserves, but LB 29, and Connor, you love to see this, Okereke at LB 44.
Yeah,
Definitely a nice little kind of fill-in option.
glad to see him there. Indy's kind of got an embarrassment of riches, in my opinion, at the linebacker and DN position. So if you're ever thin, just check them out. These are good guys to look at, especially Anthony Walker. If you need somebody to fill in if Darius continues to sit out. But Bobby Okereke, proud of him. He's having a great showing. And that defensive group, I mean, granted, they stood their ground in the second half, but you can't give up 21 points in a half to a team. I know the Browns are good. They could be a playoff team.
Baker kept trying to give that game away, though.
He did.
Throwing picks, throwing almost picks. I mean, he did not look great. They pulled it out. I mean, I think he's looked better this season, but man, still some careless football from them.
Every point scored by the Colts on Sunday by rookies.
Wow.
In fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had
Hot Rod, Jonathan Taylor.
that's right.
The pick and the kick return.
Let's go then. I love that.
Anthony Walker had 25 points in fantasy last week.
Right.
He's good, man.
He's
Anytime Leonard is out, go pick up Anthony Walker.
He led the team in tackles last year when Leonard was hurt. And Walker is in a contract year, and him and Darius are best friends. I just know this from on social media, and they ride hard for each other. So I hope they see the value in knowing, hey, Leonard plays a reckless position.
Yeah.
Walker is if you're going to give a backup other money, and maybe it's not the money he would get elsewhere, but he doesn't have to move. He's one that I would really look hard at.
Well, I mean, Leonard's proved that he has a hard time staying healthy. He dealt with this stuff last year. Okereke, he had 24 points, 10 tackles.
That's right. It was a nice game for both guys. I didn't realize it was that high, but yeah, that shows the
He had a
opportunity.
pick. They both had a pick.
Yeah, that's because Baker was just throwing them, man. He was
Yeah.
like, you get a pick, and you get a pick, and everyone gets one.
It's nice of him.
If you ever wondered if your social media was listening to you while you were talking and showing you things based on what you were talking about, the number one tweet on my timeline right now, the Bill Belichick out of the tunnel gif. Number 2, the Bill Belichick with the binocular gif. The top 2 tweets on the timeline are the Bill Belichick gifs that we just discussed, y'all.
What's going on?
Turn off your microphones on your computer.
Scared.
Blair Witch
Your
Project
social
for all you kids at
medias
home.
are listening. All right, Addy, what we got here next? Number 5 on the list.
Blitzburg.
Blitzburg is back. Steel Curtain is back.
Yes, incredible unit here, boys. Cameron Hayward, DL 47. Stephon Tuitt, DL 38. Bud Dupree, LB 61. TJ Watt, LB 16.
It doesn't show up sometimes, and we know Bud Dupree gets banged by that linebacker designation, but there is no team whose the unit consistently wrecks the opposing offense's plan like the Pittsburgh defensive line does. These guys are disgusting this year.
Insane. So I'm on PFF.com. Shout out again, Macri.
We're just going to shout him out like 10 times an episode now.
It's our best friend.
Yes, it is. It really is our best friend.
So all 4 of these boys are top 18.
Are they really?
Yeah. So Stephon Tuitt, surprisingly enough, he is tied 6th in the league with 25 pressures. And also keep in mind they haven't played a game.
Mhm.
So I mean they're some of these people in front of him have played 5, like Khalil Mack, he's at 27, Barrett's at 27, Bosa's at 27.
So Tuitt could be potentially number 1 if he keeps his pace up.
Like efficiency wise, I mean, yeah, he's all over it. And also he only has 195 snaps, which is like a lot less than these other guys.
And how many pressures on 195, you said?
25.
So 25 divided by 195. God, that's a 12.8 pressure rate. That's very good.
And if you want to break it down even further, 138 of those have been pass rush snaps.
So 138 divided by 25, you said?
Yes. Actually, you got to go 25.
25 divided by 138. Good math there, Josh. 18.1. Holy cow.
It's very nice.
That's almost 20% on his pass rush snaps, Addy.
And so look at this, Josh. So go 33 divided by 202.
33 divided by 202 is 16.3%.
That's Myles Garrett.
Wow. So Stephon Tuitt, greater sign, Myles Garrett is
Better
what you're
than
saying.
Myles Garrett. That's what we're saying.
You heard it here first, folks. Go trade you Myles Garrett for Stephon Tuitt.
Yeah, so Tuitt, back to the pressures. Tuitt has 25 pressures. TJ Watt has 23 pressures. Connor's boy Bud has 23 pressures. And Cameron Hayward has 17 pressures.
Man.
Which is tied for 18th.
Yeah, so this is what we talked about, Connor. The IDP stats don't always show up, but the pressures, these guys are getting to the quarterback. They're affecting the play, and that's what part of this exercise was, not just IDP relevant pieces, but which defensive units pass the eye test.
Yeah, Pittsburgh definitely does, man. They're going to be a problem, and I think, like you're mentioning, the metrics that don't make the stat book but are typically indicative of a defense that is going to start having those stats. Not only does Pittsburgh's D-line and linebackers have stats that to back them up to be in that top 5, but I think some of those things that don't show that if they start hitting on those are going to start probably lobbing them up in that top 3 range. So, solid group, man. They're going to be a problem there in the AFC North.
Now, I have to wonder if this next group is just C-Mag's fandom showing, but I don't disagree with him that Chicago's defensive line has looked very good this year. We know on the grown man Mount Rushmore, Akeem Hicks, DL3. That's amazing. Love
Shout
that. 5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 1 pass defense, 21 tackles. Bilal Nichols, D-lineman 100, but already has 3 tackles for loss and a pass defense. Khalil Mack with that judo toss of Tristan Wirfs. He's LB 34 with 17 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 1 pass defense, and 1 fumble recovery. and absolutely demolished single-handedly that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line in that Thursday night game. It was amazing.
That was amazing. That was a rookie, right?
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs, their first-round pick.
Welcome, Rook.
Welcome to the league, bud.
Khalil Mack.
There's Khalil Mack, if you were wondering who the grown man is.
Judo throw.
Judo throw instead of judo chop. And then you also have, Robert Quinn. Not doing great in terms of the stats right now, but he's just kind of thrown in there as your fourth piece. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, he's been disappointing. But he did that before when he got paid. Kind of put it in cruise control.
But still a nice. I think you could start Akeem Hicks and Khalil Mack.
Oh yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah.
From that previous group, you can start all those Pittsburgh defensive linemen, 100%. You can start all those Indianapolis linebackers as long as Leonard is out. If Leonard is out, is back on the field, I think you put Okereke on the bench. We mentioned all the Washington guys. Yeah, so, Chicago defensive line, I think two of those guys are definite starts.
For sure. Yeah, looking at pressures, Khalil Mack tied third for pressures with 27.
Is he really?
Yep.
He's so good.
Akeem Hicks, 13th.
There you go.
Which is great for an interior defensive lineman.
Absolutely.
So, I think that's why you're seeing the success of this defense. Akeem Hicks. He was such an important piece, and just nice to see him back healthy.
I love it. So much. Number 7, Connie, who we got?
The Bills Mafia secondary. They had a rough night tonight, man.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, was kind of running roughshod over him.
Yeah, it's A.J. Brown acted up. Tannehill acted up with him. But, again, they've had a good season, so you don't want to just wrap it all up into one game. So, tip of the cap to the tits, they're good. But the Buffalo secondary, talking about Jordan Pryor, DB18, he had 33 tackles, 2 for loss, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble. Micah Hyde, Tre'Davious White, Levi Wallace.
Levi Washington.
Yeah.
From, isn't that the Chappelle Show?
No, that's Leonard Washington.
Leonard Washington, that's
I'll catch
right.
you going through my shit. I'm going to beat you in your ass.
Leonard Washington, what a great character. Yeah, this is one of those units I think that is maybe a little better in terms of real-life defensive value. You can start Jordan Poyer. We know that. Not really super interested in the rest of these guys, though, for IDP purposes, Addy.
D-unit.
I was wondering when you were going to bust that out.
We have been pushing that off for the longest time, folks.
Forgot about it, yeah. But it reminded me with the Leonard Washington where he did the kid that he's...
Oh, yeah.
When they do the wife swap.
Wife swap, yeah.
The kid does the G-unit, and then Leonard Washington does the get your ass in the car.
Chappelle is such a visionary. If you're getting to see one comic, dead or alive, at a private show, who you going with?
Oh man, that's tough.
That's really tough.
I mean,
it could be a packed house show. You're just sitting.
We've seen some good comedy shows. I've seen
Louis
C.K.
before
he became a perv. I've seen Aziz Ansari. He was really good.
Aziz also got some.
Yeah.
Not so. What's up with you, Josh?
You just don't have a very good moral compass.
Yeah, I really don't. I love
Dave
a bunch
is the
of
only
creeps.
one that's had nothing bad written about him besides the people thinking he was out of line for leaving Comedy Central and they had paid him to do the show.
The two that I really want to see still, I want to see Bill Burr. I thought he killed it on Saturday Night Live. He was great. And then I want to see Nick Swartzen. Swartzen is just one of my favorites because he's in so many great, and he has one of my favorite bits ever about the T-shirt cannon. Just Google it if you've never seen it. But those are the two that I really do want to see. But man, one show. I've never seen Dave, so I'd probably say that.
Right.
It's Dave.
Dave's in the mix for me as well. I think my top 3 would be probably Dave Chappelle, Norm Macdonald, Roy Scovel, to be a little more obscure.
Yeah, to be more hipster.
Sure.
I knew you were going to bust out some we'd never heard of.
He's
us
a guy.
normies.
Yeah. Mine will be Dave, Patrice O'Neal, and Bill Burr would be on there. Bill is
Patrice O'Neal was so good.
Had
RIP,
one of the best sets ever with the was it Elephant in the Room?
Elephant in the Room. Man.
Go
It's
watch
one
that
of
on
the best
Netflix
stand-ups.
if you've never seen it. So I don't know how we got sidetracked on that. Oh, it was the Dave Chappelle ref there.
That'll happen here.
But the Buffalo secondary, yes, been very good. Arizona linebackers, Addy, for IDP points only, because we know Isaiah Simmons hasn't really gotten on the field, and now Chandler Jones, who on some platforms was classified as an OLB, is out for the season. But Jordan Hicks should have given more love to this guy, man. I think we all were a little bit hesitant just because of the history prior to last year, but LB11.
He was the easy, regression call.
Yeah. And sometimes we just pound the regression drum a little too much.
Right.
And don't take into account, what if this guy's just gotten a lot better?
Yeah. And what if
You know?
he's just good at getting tackles?
Oh, he has regressed from LB1 to LB11, but as long as he's still a LB1,
Yeah.
that's pretty darn good. And then you have Devondre Campbell, the vampire lives, LB19, doing all right so far.
Yeah. But I mean, LB11, I mean, that's nothing to look down on. I mean, we know how many misses there's been in this
So
top
many.
15 this year.
We need to look at that next. Like,
That'll be a good one.
do like a 6-week audit of where we were compared to our preseason
I think
rankings.
4 of them are starting for me in RSO.
Absolutely. Corey Littleton.
You are
Shaq
dead to me,
Thompson,
Corey.
Deion Jones.
All of them are dead,
All of them.
except Fred.
Fred has been great.
Fred, you can stay. Love you forever.
We love you and your dad.
Protect you always.
Absolutely. Take a bullet for you.
Has his dad gotten back to y'all on Twitter at all?
He did reach out in the DMs. He's like, I want to come on the show and do the pod. Absolutely did not do
I was
that.
about to say, y'all got to make that happen, Captain. Why didn't that happen?
We reached out in the DMs saying, guys, leave me alone. I have contacted authorities.
I have a restraining order. You're not allowed to mention my name on your show anymore. Fred's dad, thanks for being a sponsor of the show.
You, LeBron, all y'all. Thank
Dak
you all
Prescott.
for Dak Prescott. and
Seriously.
With his sideways
legs.
foot.
Hope you guys are having a good night.
Last hypothetical question. Let's say you could have any player on, or their parent even. Who you having on? Has to be a defensive player. Current.
Current defensive player.
I'll probably have Buda Baker on.
Buddha would be great. Buddha would be really good.
I love Buda. He's got a good story. Seems like a really good dude.
Seems like he's got his head on straight.
Yep. It's tough.
I'd probably
He's
have
undersized.
I'd probably have to have my baby Jay on. I just
Wow.
I love Jay on, even though he's a Titan. Because I would just be like, what the hell's going on, man? I've been going out on a limb for you. Tom Kislingberry went out on a limb for you. And you are effing up. You are like LB 59 right now.
He's not doing very well this
He's
year.
not done great, no. So get it together, Jayon. We love you, baby.
What about you, Connie?
I'm such a homer. I try to hide that in the show a little bit and talk football about everybody,
No,
but
surely
Colts
not.
wise, I mean, there are some definite defense players you see with them being number 4. I mean, D-Buck would be tempting just to hear like, hey, what are your thoughts with this team, what we're doing, what you saw in San Francisco, what you have to do differently. So that would be fun insight from a guy like him. But Leonard that's a too much of a cupcake answer.
Yeah, that's where I thought Josh was going to go.
Yeah,
Thought it
I was thinking like, who do I like? Devin White was in the mix. I love Devin White. That's one of my babies. But yeah, Jayon, that's my original son. So I think I'd have to have him on. And I think he's done a pod before. He did. Who's the guy there in Tennessee that has the pod? Maybe the offensive lineman.
Oh yeah, Taylor Lewan.
Taylor Lewan has a pod.
The one in the bus or whatever.
Yeah, in the bus.
Busting
So,
with the boys.
Yeah,
Bussin' with the
That's
boys.
on
Decent.
Barstool Sports. So
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
so he's got some pod
It's
experience.
on Barstool.
Yeah, it's a Barstool pod.
Wow.
Taylor Lewan
Taking
works
over.
has a Barstool.
I don't like it.
Connor loves that culture.
That
Hey,
he
y'all gotta
does.
stay. You gotta stay online, boys.
Connor is our online boy,
Yeah,
so we
that's
got to
what I'm
follow
here
his
for.
lead, Eddie. I'm
He's
sorry.
Little Stoolie.
Little Stoolie. All right, next up,
Little proud boy.
Seattle's line. I'm getting
I
this
didn't say
train.
it. I didn't say it.
I'm getting this train back on the rails. Damn it, we're gonna wrap up in an hour and a half. Seattle's linebackers: Bobby Wagner. I'm not gonna say disappointment, but he's LB 12, and then KJ Wright, LB 22. Like I said, kind of like Anthony Walker. We got to give KJ Wright put some respect on his name, and Bobby Wagner's still an LB 1, but just barely clinging to it.
He'll probably be there by the end of the year.
I think so because it's the war of
Consistency.
attrition.
Exactly.
The consistency, that's right. They have these big up and down weeks that early in the season push guys higher than they probably should be.
Yep.
And as things kind of level out, the guys that consistently score about the same, that have that really high floor, those are the guys that end up in the top 12. Bobby Wagner, king of that mountain.
Yep. But KJ Wright, pretty surprising. A lot of
Very
us were
surprising.
worried that he was going to get, lose his job to the rookie. And that didn't happen. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. So yeah, if you're getting to enjoy that, congrats.
Congratulations. And we teased it a little bit earlier. But Connie, who is this last group that we're talking about in terms of most impressive units?
And we ripped on them pretty good at the beginning, but the New York Jets secondary. So looking at guys like Marcus May, Brian Poole, Pierre Desir, former Colt,
Farmer Colt.
Bradley McDougald, And yeah,
That's
Ashton Davis potentially at some point.
I saw him on the scoring when we were doing the tweets. Marcus May, DB4. Pierre Desir, DB3. Brian Poole, DB10. Bradley McDougald, DB36. All of these guys are startable. How did this happen? The one guy that we thought was startable out of the New York secondary is gone, and now all four of them are like, hey, you can play all of us if you want.
I know it's kind of odd.
It is wild.
And Marcus May, he's really floating off that first week though. I know he's DB4, but man, if you've started in the last 3 weeks, you've been very disappointed. And in fact, you've been just nothing but disappointed because I'd say you probably didn't start him week 1. You probably picked him up after that huge performance, and then you've just gone with him because everyone's told you, me included. Keep starting him. He is playing the Jamal Adams role. It just the stats haven't come yet, but I think they will. I think that he's going to remain in the top 18. But yeah, all these other guys, great options.
Water can find its level, and he could still be a good option, I guess.
Yep.
Probably had that hot start, and then it's just like, oh man.
Can you pull up his game log on Sleeper? I'm curious now. Of course, Pierre Desir's floating off the 2 interceptions. I think he had that one game after he got torched. And then, Bradley McDougald's been solid. He was always solid. He was always solid in Seattle. Like, that should not be a surprise. Brian Poole, a little surprising, but he does have 2 tackles for loss, a sack, and a pick, so that helps a lot.
Ready?
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
Game log. Week 1, 40.5 points.
Oh my God.
Week 2, 11.5. Week 3, 10. Week 4, 6. Week 5, 6.5. Looking at tackle numbers, we'll do the same thing week 1 to 5. Week 1 was 10 tackles. Week 2, 7 tackles. Week 3, 8 tackles. Week 4, 3 tackles. Week 5, 5 tackles.
Yep.
So, maybe just 2 random. I mean, really, those first 3 weeks, those are good. Those are
were
really
nice.
good tackle
Double-digit
numbers.
weeks.
Those are fine. It's just the last 2. The tackle number's been down. That'll probably normalize. Keep rolling them out there, in my opinion.
Yep.
Unless you got Chin, and I'm trying to think of another guy that's outperforming, where you drafted him.
Winfield.
The
2
you got
rooks.
The 2 rooks.
The 2 rooks.
Probably, keep May on the bench.
Yeah, I'm probably rolling out Marcus May, and that's probably it from this group.
Yeah.
I'm not going to trust these cornerbacks to keep doing this.
But, if you're in corner-required leagues, that's pretty good options. That's usually a pretty fruitful spot for production. Yeah,
you could get, if you can't get your hands on Mike Hilton, which hopefully Mike Hilton managers are not trading him away at this point. But, Pierre Desir has been really nice.
Mike Hilton, man, he's been insane.
He has been.
He's also doing that. Like, he's done what he's done on, 150 snaps.
It's just what a baller.
He's a beast.
Like the Logan Ryan of this year, possibly to an, even higher degree.
Yeah. Yep. There's
Love
a lot
to
of
see
really
it.
good corners this year.
All right, so there you go. The 10. Oh, look at this. As I'm going to throw this up on the screen. Justin Bresky, did your Michael Thomas Funko get punched by a teammate? No, Adam actually knocked Michael Thomas over with his beer when he came into the Socheck tonight. I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Yes, sir.
Gotta put-
I done it on purpose.
Got to put Michael Thomas in his place.
That was just random.
Set him back up.
Can't guard Mike though, but he's killing my fantasy team. I know everybody cares about my fantasy team, but still, I need you in the game and not punching teammates and not being remorseful about it, dog. Come on.
Yeah, take some counsel. Grow up, Michael Thomas. We want you to be good. You're not Dynasty wide receiver 1. That's DK Metcalf.
Yeah, dude, you're 27 and a half.
You're old AF.
You're very old.
Can't be doing that, dog.
Can't be getting old. You turned him the other direction. That's good.
He's in timeout right now.
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
We don't knock him down. We pick you up, King, but you got to, get your head on straight.
That's
Stop
right.
fighting teammates.
Well, there you go. Fun episode. Lots of, kind of random sidebars. Had a good news section there, Addy. Great
Good
little
stuff.
Great talk about the 10 most impressive units. Yeah, maybe next week we can do a little 6-week check-in.
Yeah.
Look at our preseason rankings.
Some WTF is going on.
Yeah.
With some folks.
Maybe like the fantasy footballers have a great segment called the Panic Room where they throw players in there and say, are you panicking about these guys?
I like
What's your
that.
level of panic? Maybe we can put something like that together. Z-Max, get started on that for us, baby. We appreciate you.
We love you, Z-Max.
Appreciate
Hope
you.
you're doing okay.
Yes, that hopefully that cockroach you ate hasn't
Hopefully you're still alive.
laid eggs inside your stomach.
Yeah, Z-Max ate a cockroach at work. So, we're worried about you, Z-Max.
Get some better
video
coworkers.
was very concerning, and shame on your coworkers for offering to do that.
Yeah, threw the money on the ground too.
I know, made you pick it up afterwards.
Dance for us, cockroach boy.
What you don't realize is the precedent you've started of just like it's like on that Office
yeah.
episode where he keeps making when Will Ferrell shows up as the new boss and he keeps making Andy do like more and more outrageous stuff like pour hot coffee on himself because he's the funny guy. Like you're gonna open up Pandora's box. They're gonna be bringing like live snakes in, being like, "Hey, funny guy, bite the snake head off and eat
Yeah.
it."
Wrestle,
do that.
get in this
Just-
pit with the snakes.
Yeah, just-
Z-Mags.
You drink this pint of blood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We got to get out of here.
We
You're
do.
just shot glass of semen.
Yeah. All right. And on that note,
It's horse.
we are going to see you guys next week. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter every week on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're dropping nugs drafted by the cockroach eater himself, Z-Mags, putting together these awesome tweets for us. Be sure that you follow us at Big3IDP. Follow our boy, Dr. Leezus, at Big3_injury. Check out his Saturday pod. Addy, we have a really fun surprise coming for the listeners this Thursday. Do we want to make it official or do we want to play it by ear in case we want
I
to?
think we can make it official.
All right. So for all of you listeners out there who have been tuning in on Thursdays to DF Triple S, we're going to be moving that into the Big 3 IDP feed. That will be dropping late Thursday night. Adam and Johnny the Greek from the IDP Guys podcast will be walking you through everything you need to know for DFS for the upcoming week.
Yep, we've had pretty good success on there so far. We built some really nice lineups. In fact, the lineup we put out on DraftKings this past week was 7x.
There you go.
Very nice. I think
7x that money.
our $3 ticket won like it was like $30, something like that. So anyway, we're doing good. We're in the zone. I mean, we understand that a lot of people are going to be checking out on their fantasy, their redraft leagues around this time. So DFS, it's never going to end, right? That you go until the end of the year. So continue to check in with us each week. I mean, we're going to have relevant information and hopefully make some money for you.
Yeah,
Big teams only.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
If your redraft teams have sucked and you're like, screw this, I'm out. I'll set my lineup, but I'm not invested in that anymore. Come invest some money in some DFS. Win
We're
some
still
money.
here. Yeah, we're still going to be having some fun for real. Me and Johnny ain't dopes. We know what we're doing, and we're having a great time doing it.
Don't be a loser about fantasy and being like, I don't like fantasy because my team's bad or
Yeah.
so-and-so got hurt. Like, boo-hoo. Go play DFS. Listen to Markham.
That's
Fantasy's dumb.
Fantasy's so dumb.
It's all luck.
Yeah, this is the fantasy crybabies. That's
My
gonna be,
guys always get injured. Nobody else gets injured.
Yeah,
Suck it.
Give me a break. All right.
I don't think a lot of these fantasy players ever play like real sports. A lot of people exposing themselves.
A lot of people. Let's dig into that on the next episode.
I like
the
it.
psychology of fantasy crybabies. Look forward to that. Also look forward, like I said, on Thursday we'll be dropping DF Triple S. Saturday we'll have Dr. Leezus. The wheel keeps turning. The content gold mine. We keep just finding these nugs for you all. Thanks again to our patrons. Consider supporting the show on Anchor. That's anchor.fm/big3IDP. Consider leaving us a review over on iTunes. It really helps us out. Consider hitting the fart noise there. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Hope you all enjoyed this show. Good luck this weekend. Stay safe out there. We'll see you guys next week.
Love you all.